At 4:50 a.m. December 12, 2025, the Tamman approach is just 10 miles from the Crimean Bridge. A massive Russian convoy carrying $500 million in critical repair materials is currently exploding in a chain reaction visible from space. These trucks were Putin's only hope to fix his bridge by Christmas. But right now, those custom hydraulic parts are melting inside a fireball reaching 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. If you ask if there's a way to destroy a bridge that's been blown up, this is what happens. 4:44 a.m. 3 minutes before the fireworks. This is Ghost. Do you remember the pilot from our video last week? The guy who put a pair of American glide bombs through the Crimean Bridge deck. If you thought he flew home to enjoy a comfortable retirement, you are wrong. He reloaded. And this time, the mission is to burn the band-aids Putin sent to fix it. The sky above the Tamman checkpoint is thick with fog, looking like a bowl of cold milk. Perfect weather for Operation Sky Salt. High above at 15,000 feet, 8 Ukrainian Bush T-10 heavy drones are cruising silently 30 m out from the target. Think of these not as simple quadcopters, but as Amazon Prime delivery trucks of the sky. They are the carriers. With a mechanical hum, their bays open. They release 48 fixed-wing FPV gliders into the airstream. Once dropped, they snap their wings open and ride the wind current-saving battery like a Tesla in eco mode. Way down below, skimming just 50 feet above the white caps to hide in the radar shadow is our main character, the F-16 Block 50. Ghost is back in the office, strapped into a 49-foot aluminum tube, moving at Mach 0.9. Under his wings, 4 GBU-39 small-diameter bombs are waiting. The target is sitting 15 miles ahead. A convoy of 30 Kamaz trucks jammed bumper to bumper at a security checkpoint. They are carrying custom hydraulic couplings smuggled and enough industrial oxygen to turn a small city into a crater. This is the hardware meant to fix the bridge before Christmas. However, standing between Ghost and that convoy is the villain, the S-400 Triumph. On paper, it is a beast. Its 92N6E radar can track 300 targets simultaneously and creates a 250 miles no-fly zone that should make this mission impossible. The Russian operators are watching their screens light up. Suddenly, they aren't seeing 48 small plastic gliders. Thanks to heavy electronic spoofing from the Dove Bush motherships, the S-400 thinks it is looking at an entire squadron of heavy bombers. The radar screen looks like a Christmas tree having a seizure. 4:45 a.m. round 1, the electronic brawl started. The Russian air defense commander at Korch isn't an idiot. He looks at the seizure-inducing mess on his S-400 screens and realizes he's being jammed. He knows that bomber fleet is a digital ghost, the trap that Russia has fallen into too many times. If he keeps his main radar on, he is just broadcasting his location to every anti-radiation missile in the Black Sea. So, he makes a ruthless call. He kills the main radar. The S-400 goes dark. He passes the fight down to the street brawlers, the Panzer S-1 units guarding the checkpoint. His order is simple. Switch to electro-optical. Find them with thermal cameras and kill them. On paper, this works. But in reality, he just asked his men to perform a miracle. Asking a Panzer operator to find a plastic glider inside a thick fog bank using a thermal camera is like trying to find a mosquito in a dark room using a laser pointer. It is frustrating and mostly it is impossible. Why? Because Mother Nature is wearing a Ukrainian jersey today. The dense fog acts as a thermal blanket, scattering the heat signatures. Even worse, these FPV gliders don't have hot jet engines. They are gliding on wind currents to a thermal sensor. They are essentially flying ice cubes. The pants crews are staring at gray static, but they are desperate. They see fleeting shadows in the mist and panic. The commander authorizes a launch. 457 E-6 interceptor missiles scream off the rails, accelerating to Mach 4 into the soup. Let's pause and look at the receipt for that trigger pull. Each one of those Russian missiles cost roughly $1 million. They just fired $4 million worth of high-tech ordnance into a cloud. The result? 2 missiles lose lock immediately and detonate harmlessly. One manages to clip a glider, turning a $500 piece of plastic into confetti. Putin just traded a Ferrari for a skateboard. But the sheer volume of fire is a problem. The Panzers switched to their twin 30mm Yoto cannon, spraying the sky with thousands of rounds of high explosive shells. It's a wall of lead. The swarm takes a hit. 5, maybe 6 gliders are shredded. Ghost watches the traces erupting from the fog like angry neon whips. He tightens his grip on the stick. The Russians are blind, yes, but they are flailing wildly with a sledgehammer, and he is about to step right into the swing. The fog above the checkpoint isn't white anymore. It's flashing orange. The battle has devolved from a chess match into a knife fight in a phone booth. The AI controller on the Dove Bush mothership issues the kill order, execute pattern Delta. 42 surviving gliders stop drifting. They tuck their wings. They pitch down in unison. They accelerate from harmless floating toys into 120 miles kinetic missiles, diving straight into the teeth of the Russian guns. The Russian response is ferocious. The Panzer crews, realizing they are about to be swarmed, switch their 30mm autocannons to cyclic rate, dumping 5,000 rounds per minute. It sounds like canvas ripping apart, amplified 1,000 times. Streams of traces crisscross the sky, creating a literal ceiling of hot steel. The first wave of 10 gliders flies straight into this meat grinder. They don't just explode, they disintegrate. Plastic, copper, and circuits are vaporized instantly. But the sheer physics of the swarm begins to overwhelm the defense. A Panzer turret can traverse 100 degrees per second. The drones are coming from 360 degrees. The servos whine and overheat as the gunners desperately try to snap from target to target. Boom! A glider slips through the curtain of fire and slams into the command vehicle's windshield. Another one impacts the missile rails of the Western battery, detonating the Reddito fire ordnance. The explosion flips the 30-ton vehicle onto its side like a dead beetle. It looks like Ukraine is winning, but the Russians have been holding back their ace. The Russian commander screams a code word into his headset barrier. Suddenly, 4 specialized Tiger M vehicles, hidden until now, unleash their payload. They aren't firing bullets. They fire canister rounds into the air above the convoy. These canisters burst, but not with shrapnel. They release a dense conductive aerosol cloud, essentially a metallic fog, designed to short-circuit electronics and block RF signals. The effect on the cheap FPV gliders is catastrophic. As they fly into the silver mist, their control links sever instantly. Their video feeds go black. Their cheap processors fry. 20 gliders drop out of the sky, simultaneously falling like dead birds. They smash impotently onto the asphalt, rolling harmlessly past the targets they were seconds away from destroying. The swarm is dead. The sky is clear, and that leaves exactly 1 target left on the board. The Russian commander, grinning through the smoke, points his finger at the low horizon. He activates the Kolchuga M passive sensor array. It doesn't emit a signal. It hunts for the faint electronic heartbeat of Ghost's radar altimeter. Inside the F-16, the cockpit goes from silent concentration to a rave of warning lights. Ghost's blood runs cold. The unknown source warning light screams red. He isn't just detected, he is triangulated. The S-400 battery at Kerch, which had been holding fire, roars to life. 2 48N6DM missiles blast out of their tubes. They don't need a radar lock to launch. They are being guided by wire to Ghost's exact grid square. These monsters accelerate to Mach 6 in 4 seconds. They are closing the 12 miles gap faster than Ghost can blink. He is alone. He is exposed. And he has 2 telephone poles of high explosives screaming his name. Ghost yanks the stick, banking the jet so hard the G-force crushes the air out of his lungs. He has run out of tricks. Or has he? Ghost is pulling 9GS as he exits a break. Turn the git, squeezing his legs like a python to keep blood in his brain. He levels the jet at 100 feet, his vision tunneling. The threat warning display is screaming a solid red tone. The S-400 battery at Kerch has a hard lock. 2 48N6 missiles are 7 miles out and closing at Mach 6. These are radar-guided killers. They don't care about the heat of his engine. They are tracking the radar reflection of his airframe. They are burning a hole through the sky straight at him. Normally, this is the part where you eject, but Ghost doesn't reach for the yellow handles. Instead, he does something insane. He pushes the throttle past the detent, lighting the afterburner. The General Electric engine dumps raw fuel into the exhaust, igniting a 30-foot blue flame. He isn't running away. He is charging. He accelerates toward the missiles. 600 knots, 700 knots. He is playing a game of chicken with physics. Why? Because he needs kinetic energy for the toss. At 5 miles out, the S-400 missiles enter their terminal phase. Their onboard radar seekers activate, painting him with lethal energy. Ghost screams through his oxygen mask and yanks the stick back into his gut. The F-16 snaps vertical. It rockets from sea level to 5,000 feet in seconds, turning its massive speed into altitude. This is the loft maneuver. As the nose passes 45 degrees pitch up, the flight computer calculates the release solution. It's pure mathematics. Speed plus angle plus gravity equals trajectory. 4 GBU-39 bombs detach from the pylons. Thrown by the immense momentum of the jet, they arc upward like artillery shells climbing toward the stratosphere to gain range. Now Ghost is naked. He is hanging in the sky, slow and vulnerable. A perfect radar target with 2 missile seconds from impact. The lead S-400 missile wavers for a microcond as it hits the chaff cloud. Its seeker confused by the sudden bloom of targets. It screams past Ghost's canopy, missing by less than 500 feet. The sonic boom alone rattles the jet's teeth. But the second missile is smarter. It has advanced ECCM electronic countermeasures. It filters out the chaff. It reacquires the physical mass of the retreating jet. Ghost braces. He is out of energy, out of altitude, out of ideas. Then a sacrifice happens. 2 of the Dove Bush motherships loitering high above receive a final override command. They dive. They don't attack the Russians. They dive into the path of the missile. They activate their electronic warfare pods to seduction mode, broadcasting a radar signal that mimics the signature of a massive B-52 bomber. It screams, "I am the target." To the missile's logic processor, the S-400 missile programmed to prioritize the largest threat takes the bait. It engages the source of the strongest signal. A massive fireball erupts in the sky above Ghost. The shock wave slams his F-16 downward like a giant hand. The motherships are vaporized instantly, trading their cheap plastic frames for a $60 million fighter jet. Ghost wrestles the controls, leveling off just 50 feet above the Whitecaps. He is alive. His heart is hammering against his ribs. But the Russians down at the checkpoint aren't looking at the escaping jet. They are looking up at the explosion, cheering. The Russian commander sees the fireball. He considers the debris falling. He thinks he just scored an F-16 kill. He orders his men to stand down. He has no idea that 4 precision-guided meteors released seconds ago are currently falling silently toward his head. The first GBU-39 corrects its course. It isn't aiming for a tank. It isn't aiming for a radar. It is aiming for the 3rd truck in the convoy. The one with the green canvas cover. The one carrying the industrial oxygen tanks. 3-2-1 impact. The bomb punches through the engine block and detonates inside the cargo bay. The explosion is blindingly white. The oxygen tanks rupture, releasing a massive cloud of pure oxidizer that feeds the initial fireball. The temperature spikes to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit in a millisecond. Then the fuel takes over. The shockwave rips through the bumper-to-bumper convoy, cracking the casings of the hydraulic fluid drums on the next truck. The atomized fluid ignites in the oxygen-rich environment. It's a chain reaction. Truck after truck goes up like a string of firecrackers, but each firecracker is a 20-ton vehicle loaded with flammable cargo. The checkpoint disappears. The expanding fireball engulfs the nearby Panzer battery. Its sensitive radar panels melt like wax. The missiles in their tubes cook off, adding solid rocket fuel to the inferno. From 12 miles away, Ghost sees the horizon light up. It looks like the sun is rising in the wrong place. The Christmas gift for the Crimean Bridge is gone. The hydraulic couplings are made of molten slag. The convoy is a smoking scar on the earth. Putin's bridge isn't getting fixed this year. Ghost banks his F-16 toward home, disappearing into the mist. He checks his fuel 800 pounds. Just enough. He keys his MIC, breaking radio silence for the first time. Delivery complete. Do not expect a tip. Let's pause and look at the brutal math on the scoreboard, because the numbers tell a story that propaganda cannot hide. On the debit side, Ukraine spent roughly $1. 3 million. That covers the jet fuel, the 4 GBU-39 bombs, the swarm of cheap FPV gliders, and the 2 sacrificed Dove Bush motherships. On the credit side, Russia just lost a convoy worth an estimated $500 million. But frankly, the dollar sign is the least of Putin's problems right now. The real catastrophe is time. Those hydraulic couplings weren't generic parts you can pick up at Home Depot. They were custom-engineered massive steel components smuggled through a labyrinth of sanctions. Replacing them isn't a matter of writing a check. It will take at least 6 months of desperate back-channel deals and manufacturing time. That means for the next half year, the Crimean Bridge, the main artery feeding the entire Russian southern front, remains a crippled single-lane bottleneck. It is effectively on life support. Every tank, every artillery shell, and every liter of diesel fuel destined for the trenches will now have to take the long way around through the muddy, partisan-infested roads of the mainland. By destroying 30 trucks, Ukraine didn't just win a skirmish. They successfully choked the logistics of an entire army group. And in war, amateurs talk about tactics, but professionals talk about logistics. Today, Ukraine proved they are the professionals. But here is the part that really stings for Moscow. The part that will keep generals awake at night. This attack proves that their impenetrable air defense network, the S-400, the Panzer, the Cougar, has a fatal systemic flaw. They spent billions building a fortress designed to fight NATO bombers and cruise missiles. They built 10-foot steel walls to stop a tank. But they have absolutely no answer for a swarm of $500 plastic toys combined with 1980s jet tactics. They are trying to catch mosquitoes with a sledgehammer, and they are missing. Ukraine has turned the asymmetry of war into an art form. They use cheap disposable tech to force Russia to expend its most expensive irreplaceable missiles, and then slipped a dagger through the gap. But I want to hear from you. Was Ghost's decision to charge the S-400 recklessly brave? Or was it a calculated risk that paid off? And do you think Russia will ever fully repair that bridge? Or is it destined to become the world's largest, most expensive artificial reef? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed watching a $500 million convoy turn into the world's most expensive campfire, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the tech that is redefining modern warfare. Bye for now.